going to start with a super quick, very, what feels like selfish comment in some ways, but I do hope that everybody enjoyed their lunch today. I just want to send our deepest thanks to Chef Tyler and all of his culinary team for keeping us well fed and watered. So thank you. So one of the benefits of hosting is that ever so occasionally, just for 5 short minutes, you get to hijack an agenda. And that's a little bit of what I'm doing here today, but bringing to you what, in my personal belief, is really great news to share with the room. On behalf of GRASS, I am here to actually announce a new program that we are launching under our impact initiatives. And this project is called Rapid Response for Business Development. So the idea here is that the Rapid Response Funds would provide up to $10,000 in support to those Ontario-based companies in agri-food, agri-products, clean tech, as they work to establish business connections and advance their own market opportunities. To secure sales, for all of the innovative products and processes and technologies that are taking place. You know, I'll hijack Gord Surgeon's words when it's like, you gotta be able to sell it, guys. And, you know, Sean shared with us in his presentation that one of the greatest ways to build connections and sauce market and funding is to get out and do that. And so what this program will do is take over in a space that OAFTA used to exist, which is to provide funds to do exactly that. Get on a plane, go, see, whether that's domestically here inside Canada or it's crossing borders into the US, the United States, Mexico, Europe, wherever those markets may be, we'd like to provide just a little bit of support to try and help get you there. And GRASS is partnering with CanLead Solutions, who will be administering this program. So for anybody who's interested, you can jaunt on over to the Grand River Agricultural Society website under our philanthropic initiatives and find out more information there. We'll also share the information on the SPARK web page as well. So if it's not you as a founder in the room that's looking, it's you as a mentor that has a great founder or company that you're working with, please share widely. The funds are not unlimited. It is a multi-year commitment, but it will be a little bit first come, first served. So, you know, I'd love to spend the money by what? The end of the afternoon? No, maybe not the end of the afternoon, but the end of the month would be great, right? So as we share that announcement, thanks for being with us here again. We have an incredible afternoon of speakers, and starting with our first presenter this afternoon, he's somebody who is no stranger to the work in the not-for-profit sector for working for a company that's striving to create change and providing world-class service, Denise Dewar. So Denise is a senior executive with over 25 years in advancing agriculture innovations to the marketplace. Denise has worked around the globe with multinational companies, farm groups, not-for-profit organizations, and technology associations. After 13 years in Washington, D.C., she returned home to Canada in October 2020 and joined Bioenterprise Canada as an innovation advisor and serves as the general manager for the Canadian Grains Council. So without further ado, I'd love to welcome Denise to share more about Bioenterprise.
Great, thanks, Katie. And it's great to see people in person for the first time in quite a while. Nice to be with you all. And I want to thank the Grand River Ag Society for the opportunity to come and speak to you today. It's a great opportunity to share a little bit more about Bioenterprise. And I suspect many of you in the room are familiar with Bioenterprise and have met our CEO, Dave Smarden, on occasion. Dave sends his personal greetings to all of you. He was lucky enough to be away on vacation this week, so I got to come and meet all of you, so it's great to be with you. So Bioenterprise, we are the home to Canada's food and AgTech engine, and we are a national agriculture accelerator here in Canada. And we really are the go-to organization for commercialization and acceleration of innovation in Canada. And we've been working since 2003 in the space, so 18 years in the space. And just recently established the Canada's Food and AgTech Engine in 2020, June of 2020. And we have offices in 6 provinces. We work in partnership with regional and provincial organizations in the provinces, and we have 7 regional partners and over 2,500 innovative companies that have partnered with Bioenterprise. And really, our mission is to help innovators in food and ag tech connect, innovate, and grow. So, a lot of our funding, we're a not-for-profit, obviously, but we offer programs on behalf of government. So, Dave and our team have really cracked the code, I would say, on, writing proposals and getting grant money to offer to agriculture innovators in the space. And, part of that, over the last 18 years, you have to collect a lot of information to provide back to government to demonstrate that their dollars are making a difference. And so we've done a lot of analysis on the results that the investment has provided over the years. And what we can tell you is that for every dollar invested in ag innovation in Canada, we get more than $200 returned. And we've had over 2,000 technologies launched since the beginning of Bioenterprise in 2003. And as mentioned, over 2,500 companies have come through Bioenterprise as a member. And more than $4.4 million have been invested through government funding, with a return of $23.5 million generated in tax revenue. So those numbers are, very important for government, and I think one of the reasons they continue to work with Bioenterprise to fund innovation in the space. So we work with just about all of the sectors, I would say, in agriculture that are innovating, and we've broken it down into 12 AgTech subsectors. So you can see those up here: the agri-based life sciences, ag management tools, ag waste management, and I can't read that far one over there, animal health sciences, aquaculture, bioenergy, bioproducts, crop science, data analytics, equipment development and precision ag, food production and technology, and water technologies. So there's quite a number of different subsectors in the space. So there's lots of room for innovation, but also I think it makes for keeping the funding a bit spread out as well. So we have partnerships over the 18 years that we've been in business, and Dave and the team have been very active working internationally and creating those connections where we need them to support innovators in Canada. And just a list here of some of the various institutions that we've worked with over the years. Universities in the UK, in the Netherlands, University of Tokyo, lots of different research institutions in the countries listed up here. So as a sector, agriculture employs 2.3 million Canadians. Now, We know only about 3% of the population actually works in agriculture, and that number is decreasing as the folks in this room innovate and bring new products to the marketplace. And but when you look at the sector as a whole, it's quite broad, as we saw from those 12 sectors. So, you know, over 2.3 million Canadians employed across the sector writ large. And we account for 7% of Canada's gross domestic product in our sector. And we also contribute $56 billion in exports. And you know, one of the things that we talk about frequently is the Government of Canada, through the economic strategy table, has a commitment to grow the agricultural exports by up to $75 billion by 2025. So lots of room for innovation and investment in the space in Canada, as you folks know. So what the industry is telling us. So one of the things that Dave recently did was really look at the space and what's needed in the space to have it flourish. There's a lot of investment, a lot of excitement in ag tech. And so we went out and really asked, what do we need to take care of in the sector? And the feedback that came back, and this won't be a surprise, I don't think, to anyone here, is that the industry across and the ecosystem is fragmented. That there's a lot of players with unclear mandates, there's no roadmap and no national focus. And the information and resources and knowledge are scattered, difficult to find, and challenging to coordinate. And the feedback that came back from industry was that we really needed a go-to organization that can represent what's happening across the country in food and ag tech. And that's where the birth of the engine came and what we launched in June of 2020. We need access to the best available resources, both nationally and internationally, to have Canada's food and ag tech innovation really thrive. And at the same time, what industry was telling us, what the ecosystem was sharing with us, same kind of feedback, that the ecosystem is fragmented for food and ag tech, that it's highly competitive with one another and not collaborative. So, that doesn't bode well for making us a spot where we can really accelerate innovation with velocity. That we're under-resourced and underfunded, and there's a lot of generic players in the space, and not as much ag expertise as we would like. I think there's innovators that have great ideas, and as Rob Hanna mentioned earlier, we really need to encourage new partners in the ag tech space, and we need to ensure that they have they understand the market. So ag tech, as you know, it's become the flavor of the day. Everyone's excited about it and investing in it, which is great. And most accelerators and innovators across the country, as you know, are regional or provincial in nature, and have a lack of knowledge really regarding each other and the resources that are available, and no knowledge of what other stakeholders in the space are doing. And so that really limits their thinking beyond their specific region. So with all of that in mind, Dave formed the engine, which is Canada's Food and Agritech Engine. So we announced the launch of the engine in June of 2020. And the intention of the engine is to bring all the players across the ecosystem together under one national umbrella, and really to facilitate or accelerate the programs that are going on a provincial or regional scale. So some of the work we do with our provincial partners is we partner together to submit applications for funding to government. And not surprisingly, government likes to see that we're doing that. they know there's no competition in the space, and the industry is working together to utilize the funds responsibly. So we formed the engine, and we've been bringing together the partners across the space. So everyone from academic institutions to research institutions, industry mentors, various levels of government, all to provide support to companies in the space and to accelerate the innovation. So we also have specific service providers who are members, who provide services to our members, like in the regulatory area or intellectual property, to support access to different funding, government funding programs. And the intention is that those service partners, really benefit our members, and they provide a discounted rate specifically to our members to support them in getting to the marketplace. So our overarching mandate really is to accelerate the innovators in agriculture in Canada and get them to the marketplace. And we're working as a team. We have a team that supports the membership function at Bioenterprise, and we have a team of innovation advisors, of which I am one, and we have about 12 other innovation advisors with the intention of having expertise in all of those various subsectors of ag, so that our members have access to experts that can advise them on their pathway to bringing the product to market. So Katie mentioned Ontario Agri-Food Technologies, and they, of course, are no longer existing at the moment. So there's a vacuum here in Ontario, and one of the things that we've been building at Bioenterprise is specifically an innovation hub right here for Ontario. It makes sense, our office is in Guelph, that we would really start to build a hub for AgTech innovation right here in the province of Ontario. So Dave has drafted this funnel, which I think is quite, a good graphic of how we work in the space. At the beginning, and you folks will be familiar with this funnel, ideation and talent and talent identification, and up at this end we have lots of companies working peer-to-peer. Then we have cohort-based programs that come together, and then finally, as we're getting closer to commercialization and accelerated commercialization, one-to-one support through mentorship and different types of programs available there. So you can see we start up here at the ideation stage with lots of companies, and narrow down as we go through the process, and out of the funnel comes approximately 20 new companies for the province of Ontario specifically. So this is the vision of the hub here in Ontario. And this is a great slide because it shows you our network in the engine, and specifically how our different partnerships and companies support at different stages of the funnel. And of course, at the end of the funnel there, we also have a partnership with Thrive, who is also one of the newer innovation accelerators on the scene in Canada. And so benefits for investors, and this is largely the group here, and I'll do a mea culpa and say this is not my area of expertise. I'm a scientist by training. But really, we can provide connections to the greater investment community. Dave has a long history of working in this space and can provide lots of connections to different investors in the space, both in Canada and internationally. And we can provide introductions to investment opportunities, and support our companies with doing the due diligence along the pathway. And of course, capitalize on non-dilutive sources of capital for investees, And on that note, we'll have the Smart Growth Program will be coming up again, opening up for investors to apply in June, July this year, up to $100,000 in funding for your applications for that. And of course, we provide visibility into the ecosystem. Branding and increased visibility opportunities are available through Bioenterprise. These are some of the companies that we've supported along the way that are successful or have been successful in the space. And we've supported them with everything from due diligence to market analysis, investment preparation, and seed funding. So that's a little bit about Bioenterprise, and you would have seen an announcement from us today as well in the press about the launch of our innovation sponsors. So we have new companies, big companies across Canada who are interested in investing in sustainable innovation, specifically in Canada. So we announced today our partnerships with Bayer Crop Science, with BASF, with MNP, with Aramark, some of the companies that are really interested in agriculture innovation specifically, and supporting Bioenterprise in financially, but also in providing their expertise to innovators in food and ag tech. So with that, thanks for your attention.
Thanks so much, Denise. And I know as the founders in the room, prospective funders, institutions, as we navigate this AgTech ecosystem, we welcome the clarification that you have painted in the role that Bioenterprise plays today. So once again, thank you for taking the time to join us here today.